Okay, so second subtopic in reaction kinetic is collision and transition state theory. So collision theory, okay, is a theory that explain the rate of chemical reaction. So theory that explain rate of reaction. So based on the idea, molecule must collide to react. Okay, so number 2, collision involved is an effective collision. So rate of reaction is directly proportional to number of effective collision. So in other words, molecule need to collide with each other in order to produce product. Okay, so collision known as effective collision will produce product. Okay, number of effective collision directly proportional to rate of reaction. So what is effective collision? So effective collision is anything that will lead to formation of product. Okay, so there are two requirements in effective collision. The first one, colliding molecule must have kinetic energy equal or greater than activation energy. Okay, molecule must collide in the right or correct orientation. Right means correct orientation. Okay, for example, I want to have I2 and H2 as product. So when it is colliding, it must collide like this. H must be at the top, I must be bottom, and then it collide like this. If it is colliding like this, okay, so this one is upside down, so it won't produce the desired product. So effective collision, the colliding molecule must collide in the correct orientation. Orientation means correct position. Okay, so that is the first requirement for effective collision. And then another requirement, so for effective collision, it must have these two requirements. It cannot be either one. So dia kena ada dua-dua requirement ni baru ada jadi effective collision. Dia tak boleh salah satu saja. So yang pertama, syarat pertama mesti berlanggar dengan position yang betul. Okay, syarat yang kedua, colliding molecule must have kinetic energy equal or greater activation energy. Activation energy known as EA. Okay, so EA is the minimum energy required to initiate the chemical reaction. Okay, so we have A react with B, forming C and D. So this is for exothermic reaction. This is for endothermic reaction. So for exothermic reaction, enthalpy or delta H is negative. So delta H is the difference between enthalpy reactant and product. So product minus with reactant, so that's why it get negative values because the value enthalpy for product is lower than reactant. So for example kat sini 5, kat sini 8 kan. So 5 tolak dengan 8 dapat negatif 3. So delta H awak negatif lah. Delta H always product minus with reactant. Enthalpy product minus with enthalpy reactant. Okay, so for endothermic, delta H always positive. So value enthalpy product is higher than reactant. So for example 8 minus with 5 means positive 3. Okay, so activation energy, we calculate or we determine from reactant to the maximum value. So reactant to the maximum value, we call it as activation energy. So for this one, from reactant to the maximum value, so this is your EA. Okay, so this is your reactant. Okay, so this is your product. So up here, we have activated complex, also known as transition state. Okay, so what is the features or characteristic for transition state? So transition state, it is very unstable and have short lifetime. Very, very unstable. Okay, so reactant will collide with another reactant. So it will form a molecule that have very, very short period of time. Okay, the molecule is unstable. So, and then it will convert it to product. Okay, if A and B colliding and then the kinetic energy is lesser than, okay, kinetic energy is lesser than activation energy. So kinetic energy dia bawah daripada activation energy, so dia takkan converted, takkan pergi ke produk. So nak jadi produk, nilai kinetic energy A dengan B ni must be equal ataupun greater. Kalau nak lepas barrier ni, dia mesti equal ataupun greater lah. Kalau lagi rendah, dia tak akan jadi produk. So, dia akan patah balik lah kepada reactant. So, maksudnya pelanggaran tu pelanggaran tak efisien. Okay. So, itu maksudnya effective collision. Colliding molecule must have equal or greater activation energy. Then, it will produce product. And then, the collision must be in right orientation. Okay.